you wanting me to do the introduction, Dan, or you want to do it?
You can do it.
All right. Are you ready, everybody?
Welcome to Constipation with a Conjuror.
I don't fuck around like you do. Welcome to Conversation with the Conjuror. We have an awesome guest with us today, Chris Walde. It's actually a very awesome opportunity to have him on the show. He's good friends with my friend Smoothini. Saw you have Fat Joe on your website. We can talk about that. Dan usually does the introduction, but today, since I know Chris, Dan doesn't really know him yet, so we're all going to get to know each other a bit better here. I'm Alex Johnson. This is Daniel Rivington and Chris Walde, man. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Really
nice to meet you, dude. Alex has mentioned a couple of things in passing, but for the people at home who aren't aware of you, what's your sort of background? What kind of magic are you into?
Close up, well, I like to call Chicago style because I'm from Chicago. So Chicago style, anything pretty much I could fit in my pocket. I started doing stage stuff in my late teens. I really didn't like it because it didn't have that same intimacy as being up close or something happening in your hand. You could shake someone's hand afterwards. You're not some otherworldly entity on stage that no one gets to talk to. They see that you're human too, but it leaves them with that "what the hell just happened" factor. It hits them a little harder that way.
Hey, Chris, do you mind if I stop you right there real fast?
Yeah, sure.
Dan, I'm doing the introduction today. I have a couple of questions I want to ask first.
All right, help yourself.
Nah, I'm just messing with you, man. I just wanted to
I hate
say,
when mommy and daddy fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did the introduction, and he started going right into it immediately, man. I was wanting to tell you though, before we started recording this, come to find out we have the same birthday. That is wild, man.
Yeah, found out. What did you ask that prompted that? It was a Marine Corps thing, right?
Yeah. But I was wanting to ask you about the cards of life real fast. After this, then Danny can go and fix questions and everything. Are you familiar with the cards of life, right? Do you know anything about that?
Just the name.
So the cards of life, they're a calendar, right? So there's 52 cards in the deck. There's 52 weeks in a year, right? Okay. So there's 13 cards per suit. There's roughly 13 weeks per season. There's 4 seasons. There's 4 suits. So I just wanted to tell you that you're the same card as me, the King of Clubs, since you have the same birthday.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Oh, would you look at that? All right. Now, Dan, now you can take over. Thank you very much.
I didn't mean to derail your train of stream of consciousness or whatever.
Well, we got to slow down here. We're starting so fast,
So Chris, Alex was saying that you do sort of like intimate parlor type shows.
Yeah, parlor, strolling, walk around. That's my specialty. I like to end each show, even if it's just walk around. I'll have them set up a table or some sort of stage stuff where I can do my discipline, card cheating and stuff like that. And I get everybody, it's more of a way to get people hands-on and more involved. And that usually blows them away. Because a lot of that strolling stuff, a lot of people are sitting at tables. Like the last one I did a few days ago was some corporate event where they were celebrating a merger of some sort. These people didn't know each other. So at the end of it, I said, I need that table back there. I got the table, got my little setup, but this time, once I started that, people started mingling. They started talking across tables. They started talking across drinks. People were standing up and walking around instead of sitting down and eating their dinner. They just left their dinner behind. So it's kind of that it gets people together more so when I do it that way, because you could just walk around and do whatever. But if you can find a way to speak to the people or their mind or bring them together, and people that talk that normally don't, that looks good on your reputation too.
Yeah, it's a great selling point when you're trying to sell yourself to those people. That it's an icebreaker, and it sort of gets people talking. If not just about the magic, but in general, like, oh, that was good, exactly. Okay, my name's whatever, and they shake hands and continue. So a lot of the stuff that you do is corporate. Or are you doing weddings? Are you doing birthday parties?
Yeah, birthday parties, weddings, corporate events. I remember I had this one in New Jersey. It was a 1-year-old's birthday party, but it wasn't to entertain the 1-year-old. It was to entertain the older guests that were there. And I didn't know it until I got there. It was like 400 people there and about 50 tables, and it was just me. and there were about 10 people at each table, give or take. It was nuts. I thought I was in the wrong ballroom. I thought it was a wedding. They had a DJ and all this stuff, but it was insane. And even bar stuff. I mean, I'm not going to leave it just to corporate events and things like that. I ask people at bars and restaurants, hey, let me come through. I mean, sometimes I'll do it practically for nothing or just to practice. I'll get something out of it. I get to go out there, get my name out there in places I've never been or they don't know me. And I don't think it should be the elite rich to be able to afford a good magic show, you know?
That's true.
I remember
That's
a
true.
couple months ago, whenever it was me and you and Smoothini were on a video call, that's how we actually, got to be introduced. I was asking you for advice on how to do you said that you rented out like tops of restaurants, like the ballrooms and stuff, and you would set up and you'd advertise for like a very limited amount of tickets or something.
Yep, exactly.
What do you do? You just approach like a general manager and see how much it'd be to rent out their
exactly
area is.
So I had
you advertise just locally for you said like 50 seats or something.
Yep.
And once it's sold out, you're booked.
That's it. So the pandemic hit all of us a little differently. So I went on hiatus for a long time, and I just did some online stuff. But I found myself waiting for people to put me on. But I'm new to this area, somewhat new to this area now. People didn't know unless I'm in Chicago or I'm back out east or something like that. So why wait? I'm going to put myself on. So I drove around to all these places that had ballrooms and all the facilities that I needed. And I asked them, how much for this hour, how much for this amount of time, and so forth. And I found someone that was really cooperative. And I got the layout and all
price.
that.
You're in a bigger city than where I'm at. So what would be like a night to rent it out, for like 3 hours or whatever you do.
Are you doing a split?
Say again?
Are you doing a split on the tickets, or are you just paying a flat fee?
No. So I thought about that. The type of payment that I wanted to keep everything. So I wanted to know I don't like the what ifs. I wanted to know exactly how much everything was going to cost me, how much where my red tape was, all this stuff. My bottom line, all of it. So I wanted to rent a ballroom for X amount of hours. So I would go in, look at the place, check everything out. And the guy that I had, he said, okay, you know what? I'll give you the whole room for 6 hours. He said, if no one's here, I'll give you the whole room for the entire day. Come in when you want, stay later. So we'll just use a round number like $200. I don't want to give away his prices.
Right.
So $200 gives me, instead of just 6 hours on the day, where I can pull off 2 shows and clean up and, post show and all that stuff. So $200, and this guy worked with me. I could fit less people in there, 35 people, but throughout the whole day, I could potentially do 4 or 5 shows. So now I'm just trying to fill seats. So nice. I know my bottom line is that we had enough money afterwards. We had free wine. We bought a popcorn machine. We had water, ice. We had intermission.
Whenever you say we,
music, the whole 9 yards.
Whenever you say we, who do you mean by we? Do you have a doorman? You have someone running sound?
Oh no, my wife helped me out with the whole thing. We'll sit back, and we came up with an instrumental playlist and what our favorite songs were, for example. And we'll play this at the beginning. Okay, this will be an intermission song. Okay, this is more of a closing style music. Okay, this ambiance for this. Well, you're not going to have that kind of lighting. So it's a collective show. I'm just the guy during the show that puts it all together. But the show, the food, the wine, the ambiance, the music is a collective mind of both of us.
I remember you said that you always would try to serve a little bit of wine in the beginning to get the people to loosen up so they're not so tense. Everything. I remember that now.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're sitting in a room full of strangers, and if it's closer, it's smaller, it's more intimate, and I got a projector behind me, people are going to lean. They're going to do like this. They're going to be you can't help it. You're going to be in each other's private space. So to loosen it up, we'll have a cocktail hour at the beginning, not literally an hour. Maybe we'll give everybody a cup or 2 of wine before they sit down. So and then there's popcorn.
For that type of thing, what type of, like audience do you attract, for cocktail hour and for wine? I would imagine it would be a different type of crowd than, if it were just, in a bar setting,
Exactly. So a bar setting or a corporate event, the type of people you're going in there for. It's going to be blue collar. It's going to be white collar. If it's an event for attorneys, they're all going to be attorneys. So, garbage men hang with garbage men, or blue collar construction workers hang with construction workers. Lawyers hang with lawyers. Doctors hang with doctors. So this is a little different because it's anybody that can get hold of a ticket and get in there. So that's when your advertisement comes in, and you're looking at what demographic is in the area. Where I'm at, there's a lot of everything. We got State Farm corporate headquarters here.
Right.
There's Rivian, the Gigafactory is over here. There's Bridgestone, where they're manufacturing huge tires. So there's a large mix of everything. There's agriculture. So there really is no way for me to just say, I only want these people.
But with it being an environment where there's alcohol, I guess everybody has to be 21 and up, I'm assuming.
Exactly. Well, not necessarily. So I'll set it up and I'll let people know, hey, you can bring your kids, but a lot of it's going to go over their head.
Right.
But just know there is alcohol here. There are going to be people here. We had a lot of drunk people at the last one on the 18th of the first one. It was a holiday party, and it was some financing company. They brought a bunch of their people in, but it was great. But because we served wine and there was food and people were walking around and they all kind of got funneled into one spot, kind of like a carousel, and they went back to their seats. There was music that everyone can get along to, and there's a reason that it was instrumental. So if you have words and lyrics, some people won't understand the lyrics to a country song where they're talking about, their car broke up with their truck broke up with them and their crops won't grow, right? So compared to someone listening to Lil Wayne, you need something everyone's going to get together with. And that's why we'll play instrumental. That's why we'll have alcohol. Everybody has this common ground. You have three common things. Everybody likes Wonder. I don't care who you are. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what border or side of the pond you come from. Everybody likes Wonder. You don't have to speak the language. Everybody likes music. It's a universal language. You can sit on a bus or a train car in a subway, and there'll be 400 languages being spoke. No one knows anything. But if you play the right song, everybody knows music. They're going to dance. Everybody acts the same when they get alcohol.
Do you have like a certain, routine that you perform over and over and over for each show? Like say you did a show one day and then the next month you have another show. Would you do the same exact show, or the variations you experiment? How do you experiment to add new things in, if you do add?
So I have what I call my anchors. So of course there's my card sheet, one of my card sheets that I like to do. There's some routines that I love to do, like I like using flash paper to produce huge chunks of ice, not just a large chunk, huge chunks of ice. Vanishing bottle, and I use that as an attention getter. So and not necessarily as a routine. So I don't like to do what other magicians do. I'll get back to that in a little bit. But I know there's some staples that people want to see. They want to see, you burn a card and their cards burn. You want to see, I tear this card, and the card that he's holding in his envelope that I gave him at the beginning of the door that he examined is now torn in his envelope. Things like that people want to see. So an example, something that I think we all know, as soon as I show you, you're going to know what this is. I'm going to change the angle of my phone a little bit here. So I will get something like this, right? I'll just change it. It'll be the same thing. We all know what this is, right? But I'll change it up. So I'll have this open. We all know what this is. We know what this does. We know what this is. So I'll find 2 or 3 things and I'll blend them together to make something they haven't seen before, just like anything else. So I like creating. So I'll use the excuse that, hold on a second here, that I like collecting coins from all over the world. What's a better souvenir than coins or the currency of that country? I told them I keep them in this type of pouch. I let them take a look. I even go as far as to let them put their finger in here. But what I do is I hold it in a fashion where even if they're tapping around, they don't feel or see anything. I'll get into that if you want in a minute. So I'll take this, and there's a lot of banter, and I stretch it out a little bit, put it down, and I make sure everyone puts their hands on top of it, whoever's the closest. Then I go through the normal thing. You do one of these numbers. And then, of course, it's drawn out. There's a little more suspense. Pull it back. And then there's just one of these. I'm like, oh, wait, what in the hell? I let them open it. I'll let them take it. I'll let them poke around. Do you feel anything in there now? Because once they're doing this, they already put their finger in there to examine it. They say, no, there was nothing in there. Now take the same finger. Now do the same thing. So if it's repetitive, but you have a different result, that blows mine. So now they're, oh shit, what the hell is that? Let them open it. Let them open it. Let them drop it out. Now they're freaking out. So I could take this and I'll make 10, 15 different routines with it. Just change this out. Just change this out. And I could do a 20-minute set with just that. But to answer your question, that's how I try to keep things fresh.
Okay.
You and I know that it's the same thing if you come in later. But other people that come in, they have no idea because I'll switch these out with different coins.
So what changes then, the pattern or the framing?
It depends on where I'm at. So if it's a law firm, I'll make it about them. If it's about advertising, I'll make it something about advertising. It's something of this. I like the ones where it's a lot of poker players, or there's a lot of people that don't believe, or you have your spectators that just want to heckle you. I like to let people grab, touch, go for it. So it depends on who I'm talking to. So the banter, it's fixed, but I'm just kind of going along with them. So I'm just making up stuff as I go, but there are anchor words or anchor phrases that I'll use, but it generally doesn't stay the same the entire time. So if I don't know, if they're cracking jokes, I'm going to crack jokes right back with them. I'm not the greatest at it, but if I'm losing, my mannerisms or what I say next, it'll make them laugh. The idea for me is to not let them feel like I feel I'm sort of above everybody else. I have this gift. I have this talent. I'm better than the rest of you, and I don't fail at things. I like to take that little roller coaster and let them know, hey, I'm going to give this a shot. It doesn't work all the time.
Yeah.
I know it's going to work. This doesn't work all the
use
time.
that pretty
But
often.
let me give this a shot. And then
Yeah,
when it doesn't,
a bit of
I'll pretend it
a bit of
doesn't.
humility goes a long way, I think. You know,
Yeah.
like nobody wants to hang out with someone who's like a clever dick. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? No one wants to.
Exactly.
You know, smarty pants, know it all type of person.
That's the best way to put it. I mean, if you're not coming
you can
across
be as
this
much of a smartass as
great
you want, as
guy
long as
who's
you're
a
funny.
Exactly.
As long as
And
you
you
can make
don't
them
put
laugh,
somebody
you know?
else on the spot. You don't make them uncomfortable. You don't put them on the spot.
Right.
You don't change the attention. Say, all right, we're going to beat up on them. It's fine. If you can, you kind of audience management with this and people's emotions at the same time, especially if they're drinking, you got to know when to make them involved and when to transition. But still let them know I got my eye on it.
What time do you usually do your shows? Like, say you have like a main event, usually, because if you had it later at night, you know, if it was on a Saturday, you know, downtown late at night, then everybody would already be pretty drunk. So do you try to have your shows pretty early, 8 o'clock or whatever?
The first ones I like to do around 6:30, 7 o'clock, depending on the demographic of the area. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of places around here, they get off work about between 3 and 5. And especially they have 14,000 employees at State Farm. They have 425 employees at Bridgestone. They have 1,300 employees at Caterpillar.
So this is, you're speaking on your corporate events, not your own personal shows that you set up when you ran a venue.
Oh, no, same thing. Same thing. If it's in my own personal show, I need to think if I have ticket sales, I need to make my show available for the best time. So I'll get an average of those times or those hours. And then I'll say, okay, I'm going to start one show at this time because a lot of these people probably have family time and kids, and I'll do a later one. And that's when you get the people that are already drinking a little bit. I'll have them come in 8, 9, 10 o'clock, something like that.
Did you happen to watch the last episode with Dwayne Hill? We had him on for episode 25. Did you get to check that out?
I caught bits and pieces of it. Haven't got a chance to go back.
He does a lot of corporate events, and one of the things that he was talking to me and Dan about was tracking metrics. So I was just kind of curious, with you doing corporate events and doing venue shows, what types of things do you track? Do you track anything at all to see how you're doing compared to the previous year?
Sometimes I usually don't. I mean, mentally I do,
Mhm.
but I don't track it so much. When I say mentally, if I notice like, man, I've been doing a lot of strolling. I like to do something at a bar. I'm gonna go to the bar for a little bit and do this. Or I know I'm getting nothing but bar shows, or I'm getting nothing but stuff online, consulting.
Mhm.
Um, I'm going to start marketing a little heavier on Thumbtack or whatever website, or
Yeah,
maybe just start
that's the
promoting my
reason I was
website
asking that
more.
question. Was I was curious if you're doing your own show, like what do you do for advertising to get the word out? Do you rely on the venue to kind of promote it, or do you pay for Facebook ads? Do you do flyers or?
I'll do flyers and sometimes Facebook ads, because a lot of the people that want to watch or that want to show up, they're going to be on Facebook, or they're following me on Facebook or Instagram. But believe it or not, the most effective tool is actually flyers and business cards. I
Yeah.
know they have, and of course, social media helps out because it's always in their face and increases traffic. But there's something about a business card. If I hand somebody a card, right? No, people say, okay, the business card is dead. It's paper. No one pays attention to it. I'm sure you've seen advertisements online where they say, get the electronic one. You put it on your screen, and all their information
Yeah.
shows up.
I like business
Well,
cards.
yeah. Well, that's wonderful that all their information shows up. We just beep. Okay, great. Now it's in their phone. They're not going to look at it again until they're
Yeah.
looking for it. Business card, the piece of paper, the flyer is always in your way. It's in your pockets. Oh man, it's here again. Why is this on my desk? I'll open my drawer. It's still in my drawer. It's always in the way. It's always a reminder. And I'm more than certain both of you have phone numbers or emails in your phone or in your Google contacts. If you scroll through, you're like, oh shit, I haven't seen this number in 5-6 years or more. But the business card, it's always, as long as it exists, it's always in your way. It's always in your way.
For the flyers that you're talking about, do you are you much of a graphics designer, or do you have someone design it for you?
No, I've always done it myself.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of people in my wheelhouse. I move around a lot, and I don't have a whole lot of family. I mean, I got a lot of family in Chicago and so forth, but everybody's grown doing their own thing. So it's funny you mentioned that. How funny would it have been if I stood up and I was in my drawers? That would have been great.
I mean,
Like, wait a minute, he's wearing a dress shirt. I mean, this is simple.
We should have done it for the viewers.
Wine and magic. Okay, yeah. Let's see that.
So it's just something like this. I need to get some words that are going to catch their attention. What do people want around here? They want wine.
They want alcohol.
They want magic. Exactly. They want alcohol. They want brief entertainment, website at the bottom, and a picture of their town square. So it knows, hey, this is specifically for you. I don't know what it is around here. They like to be inclusive with their own. There's a lot of town pride in the town of Normal, and I do whatever I can to make them feel, hey, this is exclusive to you. But to answer your question, I usually do it myself because I know the people that I'm trying to target. Right. I know who I'm going for. I know when they're available. I know whereabouts they live. I know roughly how much they can and can't afford. I can tell what they drink by going in Walmart, seeing what's missing, what's there, what isn't. You know, and this is a huge college town. Illinois State University right here, University of Illinois, Wesleyan University. There's all sorts of stuff here. So it's a big market. I'm lucky being where I'm at. It's a huge market of just about everybody.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I usually do the graphic design myself.
So you said you live in a town called Normal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Look it up.
Your advertising is very suitable for it. Just a very normal, business card, very normal flyer.
Yeah, but when it comes to the younger crowd, the ones that aren't moving a million miles a second, that's where the social media takes over. That's where
you're like, all right, we got PBR and we got magic.
Exactly. So then you have your rural community, which we're surrounded by thousands of miles of cornfield at this point. But So the rural community, if you want to get some of those folks out here, that's different. But I'm going to advertise differently during school months than I am during this time of year in the middle of the summer, because the population of the town drops about 50 to 60,000 people
People go home
once
for the
school's
summer.
let out.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a whole different thing. You got people on vacations, and then people work in their agriculture. They don't have the time. It's a whole different thing. Now I'm focusing on business personnel, people that work 9 to 5s, business owners. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out here that own businesses. So I'll try to find something that balances. Hey, you do this for me, I can bring you this. I'll go into their business and I'll have a drink. I'll just sit there. And then next thing you know, they see the cards, or I'm doing something weird, and then they start asking questions. I've never once in my life asked anybody, do you want to see a magic trick? I let their curiosity bring them to me. Not once in 21 years have I ever asked somebody, you want to see a trick? So whether it's one way or another, I could sit here and just air out some cards, just fan some cards. And next thing you know, they're coming to me. I don't have to worry about invading their space or getting shot down. Not that I give a shit, but it's different when they come to you, because they're curious. And at that point, I can bring these customers to you. What would you do if I said, you let me perform here for 45 minutes? I guarantee you I can bring you 40 to 60 additional paying customers that wouldn't be here if I wasn't here. Now I got their attention.
Prove it. I would say prove it.
Even if they don't like magic. Yeah, even if they don't like magic, they like customers in the door. So they like that. So it's a give and take. You got to figure out what they want.
They're going to like money either way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Most business owners like money.
So, like, I was wondering what your journey in magic was like. Did you start when you were a kid? Did you, is it something you picked up later on?
That's, I had a talent and I didn't even know it. So the family time that me and my mom and dad would have together, they both worked for the railroad. They both worked for Amtrak. And our family time was at the end of the night. We would spend hours playing 500 rummy. So we had cards everywhere, Amtrak cards everywhere. So me starting to play at like 4 or 5 years old, I mean, if you're handling a deck of cards every night, every other night for years, I can do things that I didn't know, my classmates or other adults couldn't do. And I remember I was just doing a plain shuffle, or a riffle shuffle. I remember doing this. And everyone in the house, what the fuck was that? And I started shuffling, I started dealing, and my uncle showed me, I forgot exactly who, I think it was my Uncle Johnny, was showing me how to cut and deal with one hand and so forth. And I didn't realize it until I went to go learn more. I was like, oh, I'm going to learn more. I'm great at this. No one knows about this, right?
So are you talking 20 years ago?
About this. Say again?
Are you talking 20 years ago?
Oh, probably more than that. I mean,
what resources did you have, 20 years ago?
Myself. I started this 35. I'm sorry. I started this about 31 years ago when I started handling cards. But I didn't know that it was a craft and people got paid for it until I went to the library, and that's where I did my thing, just to practice, get out of the house. I didn't know that it was a craft until I tried looking it up, and someone showed me, like, no, this is a thing that's been around for a really long time. When
did you meet your first magician that you ever met?
Oh, geez. I want to say I was about 12 to 14, something like that. It was in Navy Pier in Chicago.
But you remember?
It was actually Golden Magic Shop. His name was Neil. And it was real small. It was like 10 feet deep and about 20 feet wide. And it was just a wall of books, just a huge wall of books. And then he would just perform at this close-up pad, this little platform. And if you saw something you liked, or if you walked in and you knew the business, and you came in there, asked for something by name, that whole wall spun around. He went into the back of the store, and then he would give the lesson there. And if you purchase something, you can go in there and he'll give you one-on-one lessons. But yeah, that was at a Navy Pier in Chicago. Called the Magic Shop. His name was Neil. Great guy.
He's still around. Sounds like a great shop.
The shop is no longer around. It was replaced by a Bubba Gump shrimp.
Ah,
And
hey, yeah.
yeah, hell yeah, good
At
stuff.
least
I
it didn't
can't say
burn
that.
down or tear it down or something. At least it became
Yeah,
something that can live on.
yeah. But I don't think if Neil's around anymore, he's definitely up there in age. He was probably pushing 70 back then. So he's if he's around, he's up there.
Would you
What
consider him one of your mentors, or just a guy that you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Neil.
I was about to say, have you had any mentors, magic or business or otherwise, that like have really
Yeah.
impacted your sort of career in magic?
So Neil showed me that what I was doing with cards was kind of not the base, but he showed me it's involved in everything, magic wise, when it comes to the dexterity of the hands and misdirection and stealing and palming and all that stuff. He showed me that that's kind of the core value of everything close up magic. And I would buy stuff from him after I realized, oh shit, magic is pretty cool. Let me start doing magic. Let me start doing cups and balls and Chinese linking rings and stuff like that. And I would leave there. I don't know if you know about Navy Pier. Navy Pier is this huge tourist attraction. It goes way out into the water, and there's restaurants and ballrooms and stuff like that. I would make a purchase there, and then go out into Navy Pier with the tourists, and I would immediately start working with the tourists. And then they started tipping me. And then they said, "Do you do shows?" I'm like, "No, I'm 14. I don't know anything about that yet." But I got older. I started doing it at family functions, and their friends started hiring me to do stuff when I was around. Wasn't really a business yet. I got into when it started becoming a business. I got into the Marine Corps, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
took a lot of my
I was
time.
going to ask you that. Did you still do magic in the Marine Corps?
Yeah, I did, and it was neat, man. And I'm sure you noticed this. Like, if once your Marines know that you're a magician, the fun part is when they find another magician and they like grab him and drag him to you. Look, he does magic too. You show him. You show him. Oh, you're not shit. You're both great. I hate you both. It's so many mixed reactions, but the Marine Corps really put a slowdown on a lot of stuff, and I actually almost quit because this is a kind of a side note, but I PCS. I changed duty stations from 29 Palms, California, and I
Lovely
took a flight
place.
from hell. Oh yeah, love it.
I took
Endless beach.
pictures that I was leaving because I knew I was never going back.
It hasn't changed, but the flight from LAX to Maryland, I flew into Baltimore International. I'm standing there. My outfit was the green pickle suit, and I'm waiting on my sea bag to come down. It comes down the carousel, but it's sliced down the side. Uniforms, shoes, PT gear,
Everything just
all my magic equipment. It's like they couldn't even, I don't know who did what or whatever, but somebody sliced it with a razor blade right down the side. I mean, gutted it like a deer. And the bag didn't come down. All the stuff that was in my bag came down. It's like somebody was in the roof of the carousel and just dumping my stuff down onto the belt.
fuck that guy.
And all my magic equipment was gone. A lot of my uniforms were gone. A lot of them were cut up and stained. Luckily, I had witnesses. The guy who was picking me up, the staff sergeant that was picking me up to take me to my new duty station, saw it. And I mean, I had thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and it was gone. I had to start over, so I almost quit because of that.
Damn.
Yeah, I've flown Delta before as well.
What?
Yeah, Deltas.
I'm just saying, Delta Airlines one of the worst airlines in the world.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Was it that one? Was it Delta?
It was Delta.
Yeah.
not throwing but it was Delta. That's why I just kind of took a drink. I'm like, yeah, it was Delta. But you know what? My heart and soul lies with the deck of cards because I can make gimmicks with these, just like you can with the coin or anything else. I don't need to charge it. I can buy them anywhere. I don't have to be at a specialty store. And I can amaze anyone because everyone knows what a deck of cards is. And it's my core values. It's what I've been doing since childhood. And I think it's just what I love to do. And I think I get more reactions out of a deck of cards than almost anything else that I do.
It's funny, like if I'm out and about with my friends, and I don't usually tell people that I'm a magician or any of that type of stuff when I'm out. Usually my friends do all the talking. They're like, oh, he's a magician, he's a magician, show him something, show him something. And then like I'll pull out a deck of cards and they're like, what the hell, you're carrying a deck of cards around? And I'm like, well, I wouldn't be a very good magician if I didn't.
Right. Yeah. So I got shit, I don't know if I have it around here. Hang tight. My wife got me this pin. It's very impromptu, just me walking away from the camera and shit.
Well, that's okay. He disappeared. It's magic.
Exactly.
Just like that.
Yeah, there it is. You hear me shuffling through my closet. I wear this on my jacket or wherever I'm going. It says, because I'm the magician. And then when people see that, that raises an eyebrow. Like, wait, you're a magician? It's like, yeah. Well, how come you won't do this? Because I'm the magician. Or if I'm running the show, there's always that smart ass, that says something. Well, how come I can't shuffle the cards? Because I'm the magician. Or just some kind of smart comment, but not to be a dick, but to keep people laughing.
I also make everybody know that you're a magician. If you wear a top hat and sequins, those are big giveaways.
Yeah.
You start carrying a magic wand, people are gonna raise some eyebrows. They're gonna know.
You know what would really sell your with your jacket and everything? If you just trimmed your beard, just had just a goatee.
Yeah. If you start twirling your mustache up at the sides, people are gonna know that you're a magician.
I'm just gonna curl it.
Yeah,
hardcore curl goes all the way around, full circles.
If you start wearing like a monocle or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna have a cane, a little bit of everything. I'm gonna have a handkerchief, scarf everywhere.
How did you develop your I guess you would call it your style, not your performance style, but your actual dress style, the jacket and whatever else?
It's funny you mentioned that. I was reading about Thurston, and I remember his start was similar to mine, not exactly the same, but circumstances kind of. At one point, he was homeless. He was down and out, and he was living on trains and traveling around that way. I mean, not because he was traveling, but because he had no place to go. And he started wearing what people were wearing to see him. And like I mentioned earlier, I didn't want them to think that I'm above them. I want them to think, I'm the common guy. I'm just like you. I just have a skill set that I'm trying to make people have a good time, laugh, smile with. If you think I have some other worldly skill, awesome, appreciate it. But I don't want to go in with them having the assumption, oh, look at this bougie bitch. Who does he think he is, right? So,
did you ever perform in restaurants?
Yeah, I'm trying to recall some. If there have been any, the corporate event I just did was in a restaurant, but it was a private room.
Yeah.
But I did one in Philadelphia that was, I guess you would consider it a restaurant because it was a huge ballroom, but they still had all the restaurant services taking place. So it was just much bigger tables.
I was speaking to somebody the other day, and they said that they perform a lot in restaurants, and they would just wear kind of like a suit, look nice for the restaurant environment, and they would be confused for being a waiter. So I was wondering if you ever had that problem.
Yeah, a couple days ago, I walked in to find the event planner. Her name was Meredith, and so the person that
more wine, please.
To do this, exactly. The person that contacted me to do the event, I didn't meet them. Was not the event planner. So I'm talking to 3 people, and I didn't meet any of them until I met Meredith, and they pointed her out to me. And I was like, oh, okay. So I put my stuff down. I didn't wear a tie, just a nice collared shirt, and then the blazer over it. And I walk over to her, and I shake her hand, and she starts talking about moving tables. I just let her go. I'm like, okay, so you want me to move that here? I said, well, what about the food? I said, do you want me to transfer this? I should just stop you right there. So I'm the magician. I don't work here. She got a big kick out of it. She thought it was hilarious.
Hey, good
But
sport about it.
yeah, but it's
Last
the
night-
only thing I
last
don't
night I
like
went to
about
town.
Say
Last
again?
night I went to town. You know, into the city, downtown, or whatever you guys call it. I went to town and I was doing magic like outside the nightclub and stuff. I was out until late. It was after a wedding, so I was wearing a three-piece suit, and yeah, and, I'm stood at the door smoking a cigarette of this nightclub. They play like rock music and stuff, and people thought I was the bouncer. You know, they're like, "Oh, can we come in?" And I'm like, "I don't give a fuck what you do. Like, you can do
Yeah,
what you want."
That's great.
You know, that's
Yeah,
still something that I haven't done yet. You know, usually when I go out, because I mostly just perform at bars and just out on the streets and whatever, I'm usually just wearing, you know, t-shirt, jeans, my boots. But I wonder how different I would be perceived and how the reactions would be if I actually did, you know, dress up, wear a suit or just wear a blazer.
You know, when I'm going out and about, I do the same thing. I'm wearing my Tupac shirt or something. I'm wearing a baseball jersey and my baseball hat.
Yeah.
And I like to not necessarily surprise people because, you know, people have an idea of who they are or what they do just based off of what they see immediately within a half second. And the last thing they're going to think is a magician, right?
Right.
So depending on who I'm performing for or where I'm performing at, I'm going to dress for that occasion. If it's business, I'm dressing business wise. If I'm just going out to have a good time but still perform, yeah, I'm gonna wear a t-shirt, maybe a collared shirt, something short like this, but I'm still in jeans, right? So it's kind of casual. I can go either way with this. But
so how did you end up?
What you want?
How did you end up making friends with Smoothini? Because I saw, you know, that's how we, you know, got to know each other was through him.
You know what? I think it was just through Facebook conversation, and I think he asked. This is right before he decided to try out for America's Got Talent. So I was following a lot of I follow any magician. I'll follow any conjurer. I'll follow any card show. It doesn't matter. If you got the art and the craft, I'll follow you and we'll support each other. But I remember he was going on then and he asked some questions and then it transitioned to, I think, a direct message and it just worked from there. And afterwards, there was a long silence because I was busy and he was doing America's Got Talent. And after the show, you know, I was congratulating him or whatever, just small talk. And I was like, "Hey, I see you're in New York filming right now. What's up?" And
was that what he's doing, Hip Hop Houdini?
Yeah. I told him, I said, "I'm in Tannins. I'm like 8 blocks away from you." And he said, "Hey, before you leave Tannins, ask Magic Bailey if he has, you know, whatever it was he asked for."
Yeah.
And I didn't know those two knew each other. I should have known.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh." And he was like, "Is that where you're going?" I said, "Yeah." He wants to know if you got this. And then he told me he was at Jim's and he was filming. And I popped in there and they were like, "Yeah, just go upstairs and go up there." And he's up there and Jonathan Levy is up there. And he didn't tell me he was up there. And I was kind of starstruck at the time. And a lot of people
Fat Joe.
went on like, yeah, Fat Joe. And before he even showed up, Jonathan Levy was in the back. And he opened the door and he's like, "Oh, and there's John." I'm like, "Oh, shit." So I'm trying to keep my composure because there's this guy that I idolize his close-up work. He just opened up the back door to a kitchen and he's sitting there, right? So I met John that way. And then that same night I met Smooth and the same in person. And then Fat Joe, and he's a big dude, man.
Yeah,
He's
I saw that picture on your website. That was the first picture you had.
He's like 7 foot 37 inches tall or some shit like that. He's a big dude. But yeah, that's how we met.
So I noticed in the background, Alex, that you've got a CIA flag.
Yep.
I've got a flag of my own that I was actually going to hang up behind me today. I want to show you guys it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Would make an inappropriate joke, but I'm not on, you know, comedy time right now.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Explain to us why you got the CIA flag thing.
Well, I mean, back when I used to work for the CIA.
Oh, right. So it's a work thing.
Yeah, I worked in Intel for a little bit when I was in the Marine Corps. I was moved over from, you know, I was 0311, you know, infantry, but my billet was intelligence.
Nice. That was always a dream of mine, man. That was a huge dream of mine, was be able to do both. I did have.
I mean, you know, I didn't even want to do it, you know, but it's just how, you know, I was voluntold, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, because I lived in Taiwan for several years, and I have an ID that I carry in my wallet. I'll show you here. And so when I'm messing with people, you know, I just always will joke with them, tell them I used to work for the CIA. They're like, no, you didn't. So then I'll show my, you know, Chinese identification. Then I'm like, well, yeah, seriously. And then if I get lucky and there's a Chinese person there, I'll start speaking to them in Chinese, and I will really make them believe that I work for the CIA. And then
That's great.
then I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I didn't work for the CIA. And no matter how much I tell them I didn't, they won't believe me. They believe they really did. So I got that just to kind of fuck around people.
That's
it's amazing. You'll never believe it when you see this flag. It's absolutely amazing. Do you know where it is, Ben? It was in this box, I swear.
Oh, you cut out, Dan. But yeah, for everybody watching this, we've had low bandwidth. So every time I tried to make it go to speaker view to where you can just see one person speaking at a time, it doesn't want to do it on my end. Oh, now it's working. So never mind. I made myself a liar.
So it's not going to be as funny if I explain it. It's a poster, yeah, and it's got Kim Jong Il in it.
Oh shit!
Right? And he's smiling, and it says "Live, laugh, love."
Riv, raff, rub.
I'm pretty sure that won't fly nowadays, but
I think that's great.
Yeah, it just made me laugh because he's got his happy, cheeky little face, even though he's like a dictator and people, you know, I won't go into that. I'm going to hang up next time.
Hey, I have several flags now. Like, you know, I collect flags because I'm a, you know, Marine, and that's what we like. So I got the Jolly Roger right here. Nice. I have this one hanging up on my window here at my apartment, and I have LED lights in here. So at nighttime, you know, there'll be blue lights back through here. And then outside, all you can see is like a big skull head with crossbones in my window. And I was like, yeah, that's going to attract too much attention. So I guess I'll take it down.
You put the CIA one up instead.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to see it, you know, because it's the contrast of the big ass skull and the, you know, light. Yeah. So it's just like a big blue skull, menacing skull shooting out the window, you know.
No, just in case
my Marine Corps one in the front.
Yeah, I got my Marine Corps flag hanging right here. I don't plan on being here very much longer, so I haven't really, like, you know, fixed this place up very nice. I just kind of have flags on the walls and shit, you know.
So, are you working on anything new at the moment?
Actually, yes. How do I talk about it without talking about it? I'm working on a really I'm working on a really cool gimmick, and hopefully I'll be done with it by the end of the week. And if I am, I promise I'll let you know. And so if anyone watching this right now, trust me, you want to see it. I'll just put it that way. So I'll see if I can get it done at the end of the week, and basically trying to come up with new routines. But then again, who isn't? But new advertisements, because
I'm president of Leeds Magic Circle, right? Which is a group of nerds that get together and talk about magic and shit. And we had a tabletop sale, you know, similar to like a yard sale or whatever. Just take all your crap down and sell it to each other for cheap. So you can buy a gimmick £2 coin. I won't go into what it does, but I bought a gimmick £2 coin and a real £2 coin, and the price £1.
What
hell of a deal!
I basically bought like $2 and a fake $2 for $1. Like, what?
I'm gonna try that out here. See how that works.
So you've been out of the
I
ring
bought this for £1, and this is really cool. I tried this out last night because I wasn't. I was just trying out new stuff. It's Michael Murray's Between the Lines. I got this for £1, right? I've got Michael Murray coming to do a lecture for us. He's coming to do a lecture at the Leeds Magic Circle in the next couple. I can't remember exactly when he's doing it, but in the next couple of months. And basically, the idea is you have them build an image in their mind of sort of this situation, and it's like a piece of paper that's been torn out of a book, and it looks like it's worn, and you can sort of spin some sort of story about it or whatever, if you wanted to use patter or whatever. But like, you have people like build an image in the mind, and most of the time you can nail a color prediction, a gender prediction on whether a person that they're thinking of is man or woman.
It's 2022.
You what?
Bad joke.
An age prediction, whether the movie that they see in the picture is black and white. It's really cool, and £1, mate.
Yeah, you can't beat that. I mean, hell, I don't know how much the books.
This isn't a product. This isn't a product that's for sale anymore. You couldn't buy it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm going to. I need to expand my books too. So you got the whole YouTube thing and everything. I mean, that's fine, but there's something about black and white. There's something about paper. I don't have to plug my book in. If you want to keep something a secret, put it in a book because no one's going to read it.
Yeah,
unless it's us.
I was finding really old, like mentalism books, like ancient stuff. Like I've got this is one of my current favourites at the moment. Anneman's 202 Methods of Forcing. Have you guys ever seen this?
Ooh, someone was actually just talking about that a couple of days ago.
It's full of wild.
That name has been coming up often now.
Each time there's a break in a paragraph, that's a different force. So like the first one in the pack is I think the Christ force, which is brilliant. And like there's heaps of stuff in there, and like 202 methods of force. I mean, sure, some of the methods are using objects that you're not gonna use, like matchstick tricks are kind of moot at this point. It's kind of stupid. You know what I mean? But
do you have a particular one you like?
A lot of the card stuff from this book. You mean forces?
Yeah, well, yeah. Do you have a particular? I always like asking magicians, like, what is their favorite force to use?
So it depends. Cool, classic, or just the dribble force, or the whatever this one's called, where you just say stop at a time you want. What's it called?
You talking about the riffle force, or the I know what you're talking about. I usually keep my card at the bottom.
The one that Pendulate does all the time. But there was a study done. I can't remember who did it, and I'm not particularly good at quotes or anything like that. There was a study that said, in a spectator's mind, right? Like we all think that the classic force is probably the best, right? And you might agree, you might not, but the classic force is a brilliant force, right? But in a spectator's mind, for a layman, right, the way that a magician would force you to take a card is exactly like the classic force. It would look like the pick a card, any card type of thing, because that's how they imagine in their mind a magician having you choose a card. So therefore, that's also the way that it'd be to force a card, right? So so like, and then this one seems more fair than that to general layman, according to the study. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to cite the study it came from, but it's something I heard recently. And then like the crosscut force, where you sort of put it to one side and leave a bit of time misdirection, to layman scored the highest on fairness, which sounds bananas.
What was this study? Where did you see this?
Well, if I could recall it in my mind and I wasn't absolutely hungover, I'd tell you. And
Right.
if I can, I'll send you the link so you can put it in the description.
So
Yeah,
all you did is just cut the deck and kept the top on top, the top card.
The crosscut force.
Mhm.
Do you want to blank this bit out while I explain how it works?
No, I won't pay attention.
All right, perfect. Well, you have
I'll
a
look it up
card.
later.
You want to force, like let's say it's the Jack of Diamonds, yeah.
Mhm.
And you tell the spectator the traditional way of doing it is you say that you mark the cut. Right. So mark the cut by putting it there. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But
Right.
that's how
Yeah.
people
Okay.
do it.
Nice.
Right, but if you just say put the rest of the cards at an angle, and we'll get back to that in a minute. You don't need to say that stupid line. I don't understand that line.
Yeah.
Mark the cut. Yeah.
But and you mark the cut. That's stupid because the card that he cuts is on the top, right? It's not this card at all.
Right.
So that's where the time misdirection comes in, and maybe you go down another route. You tell someone to pull a thought out or do something else, right? So when you come, or you go into some pattern. So when you come back to this, it seems fair that that's the card that cut to because they've forgotten the process of what happened.
Right. Have you ever seen anybody actually use that? I've never seen anybody use that before.
I have, and like magicians sort of roll their eyes at it. And I'm not even really advocating for this force. I'm just saying that that's what the study says. I don't think I've ever used it, to be honest. But that's what layman, according to this study, said was the most fair.
Interesting.
I really like that. So I stick to 2 or 3, and I'll blend them together because, of course, working with cards, I have to use a lot of forces. But I like that. I gotta find a way to incorporate that. My favorite is the ballet cut because I can do that top or bottom, and they won't know the difference pretty much. So I'm sure we all know the ballet cut. If you don't, I'll show you. But I usually I'll have whatever I want on the top. Let's say 3, and whatever the other card I want to force. If there's a second one on the bottom, so I'll just see how fancy if it looks good at all. So just riffle, they'll say stop right here, looks fair, take it, flip it over. That's their card. If I want to do it the other way, if I want them to take the top card. Yeah, exactly. How about that? I'm going to keep this. I'm going to throw that aside. So if I want them to take the top card, which they're not going to see, I'll do it face up. So face up, riffle, stop. Here, you're literally cutting this, but go ahead, swivel, flip it over. And that's the card.
Oh, so it's
So
a bit
it looks
like
fancy.
So it's a bit like a turnover pass, but like
Exactly. So you're just taking it's a false cut. It's completely false. So it's here. So when you cut this, you're going to lay half here in your palm, and you're going to have this bit here, and you're just going to flip it and catch it. I like to do face up for a final reveal if I'm doing multiple cards. Nice. It's like I like to take people on this roller coaster. You say, okay, I put this big reveal out there. I think, they think I'm going to get it done. They think I'm going to accomplish it. And then, I kind of fucked up. And I'll do that by showing them the wrong card. And so if they sign a card and say it's not the right card, I'll have 2 King of Clubs. And it's the King of Clubs, but it's not signed. And I'll do a pass or something like that. Next thing they know it's signed. But what I'm getting at is I'll show pass, 3, 3, 3. These are the 3 cards. Don't turn them over yet. They're going to hang on to them, right? Well, however many. The last one I'm going to do here. And then it's a reveal. So when they see this, they're looking at it automatically. But it's a distraction from the other 3 that they have. And I think I got this from, I got the idea from Adam Wilbur, but I really like having the idea of the very last card you turn over face up. Now, a lot of them knows, hey, after this cut, your card is going to be right on. Shit, that's not it. So now everyone's looking here. No one's paying attention over there. So it's just straight misdirection. So I like using this cut for multiple things. And then you're already set up for a nice pass if you need to change something out.
Right, someone keeps trying to call me. You know, I keep getting a phone thing coming up. Yeah,
you're going out.
One that's quite nice is like, let's say you want to force this card. You can say just what I want you to do is just say stop at any point that you want.
Stop.
Right, and then what we do is we cut the cards exactly the way you said, and then it's just it's like a pass at the same time as doing a cut. So you can use it as a control as well. So like, let's say you've got the 10, the king, sorry, and you just wanted to cut the cards and make it look like you lost it in the pack. It's just you just do a pass and a cut at the same time. So you know, classic pad at the same time as doing a cut. Really cool. Don't know if you've seen that before.
Yeah, I like that. One that I can't do it. I just can't. One, I don't have the memory for it. But I mentioned John Levy earlier, and he does this force where he'll fan the cards out, but then he'll put a little bit of pressure on it. So we'll have them closed, right? He'll put a little bit of pressure with the back of his thumb and only expose maybe 7 or 8. And then they'll say whatever the card is, brings it back, but it'll take a glance. This guy to remember all 7 or 8 cards that are there throughout the routine. He's going to reveal 10 minutes later. And he'll just ask black or red, red. Is it high or low? Low. And he'll memorize what those were and work with that.
Vanacek did that on Joe Rogan.
I'll never be able to do that. That's insane.
There's one Justin Miller did. It's kind of interesting. I've not really used it very much, but it's kind of interesting. Where you can just have someone touch any one of the cards in a spread out fan. So let's say I said this one here, right? And I separated those cards and showed them that the card that they did, and it's you know, the first card was there.
Yeah.
And probably shouldn't expose that on a thing, but I can show you.
Yeah, we're getting off topic here. Come to think of it, we got carried away here.
Yeah, I was trying not to reveal certain things while I was trying to show things. So that was a little difficult, but
we can show that for a video chat on Instagram or something.
Yeah,
I don't want to piss anybody off because I know how magicians are. It pisses me off when people expose stuff too. So unless they're exposing it to me, then I'm happy.
To be honest, if anyone's made it this far, they're either a magician or a sociopath.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
Which is most of the case.
The watch retention for every one of our videos is actually 100% every single video.
Wow. Is it?
No, that's
is it?
I'm trying to speak up the podcast, right? You know,
that was impressive.
For vanity reasons, because this is the best magic podcast on YouTube, according to my mom.
It is.
Yeah, according to my findings, which I wrote down.
I said it, and it makes it true because I'm the magician, according to that pen. So.
Hey, the last question that I was really wanting to ask you though was, you know, being in the Marine Corps, because I notice me sometimes, and I try to break this habit, but like when I'm talking to people, sometimes I still have that, you know, 1,000-yard stare when I'm talking to people, you know, like how have you been able to break that? You've been out of the Marine Corps quite a bit longer than me, but do you still have bits and pieces of, you know, the Marine that's inside of you that people are like, yo, this guy's a little bit fucking intense?
It doesn't go anywhere, man. You could try. All you're going to do is catch it. You're going to catch yourself. But I still had it. You know, when I'm performing, I try to stay busy and always on the move, so it doesn't happen. Yeah. But I catch myself doing it. Say I need a gimmick and it doesn't work out. Say I accidentally got it wet doing something else, and I need to think real quick. That goes from being a 30-second stare to like a 5-minute stare, and I'm just kind of focused in. But it sucks. But no, I can't break it. But I usually open up at some point and let them know, this happened, you know, or through my experience in the service, and then it goes from there. It's like, oh, okay. And
Just
then there's
try to
kind
make
of an
it's probably a
explanation.
pretty good idea. Just try to make light of it, because like I'll notice myself, I'll just be sitting there staring, and I'll be thinking about something, and people are like, yo, that's kind of weird, man. Oh shit, man.
I'm pretty sure when you start editing this, you're gonna catch me frozen.
I mean, that's why I said it. I've caught you and I've caught myself. I was like, man, he's just like me, man. I'm not the only weirdo.
Just going. I was like, oh, wait a second. Let me move before they think the
I
camera's
didn't mean to make
frozen.
you self-conscious about it. I'm just trying to
Oh, no,
raise
no,
your awareness. All right, Marine.
I'm conscious.
I think I do something similar, and it's related to my attention span problems, and to make myself force myself to listen to somebody, because I don't mean that in a like a bad way.
Right.
Like I just like switch off, like you're talking to a wall. Well, I'll focus on something like the black part of the screen, so I'm not looking at anything, so I can really absorb what people are saying. But it looks like I'm just staring like a sociopath.
Yeah. It was like, is he looking at me? Yeah.
I try to remind myself, it's like, oh, I should be smiling right now. So, it's like,
oh, he was a psycho. You saw that? Yeah, now they do think you're a psycho. You just started smiling for no reason. But it's funny you mentioned that attention span thing, because another reason that, not to go backwards on the conversation, but the reason that every show of mine is customized and every advertisement, depending on what I'm doing, is customized for that area or that age group or the time of year it is largely based upon attention span. Because the average attention span for an American right now is about 4.5 seconds. A goldfish is 5. So that's why a lot of the stuff that I do is it's not necessarily fast paced, but it's kind of straight to the point, and I stretch it out with banter. But knowing the attention span of the audience and what I'm doing, and then the type of people I'm working with, especially if they're in business or they're working fast paced in manufacturing, they're not going to focus on one thing too long. And I do the same thing when I study magicians' films and performances like you would a football game, like they watch film. So if I'm watching somebody perform, I'm not saying this irks me. I'm just saying this is something I refuse to do. If I bring out a deck of cards and I'm holding it, look at it, look at you, I'll look at you, look at the cards. I'm going to point at the cards. Then I'm going to do this. I know there's a deck of cards there. Cut it out, right? So that's just one of my.
You mean a regular, ordinary deck of cards, not one of these magician trick packs of cards, but the regular, ordinary packs of cards.
Right. They could do this with a Buick. I don't care what it is, but the gestures sometimes with a lot of the online stuff, it could be a little repetitive and too much. Like I'm going to pick up the sponge ball. Sponge ball. Look at the sponge ball. The sponge ball.
It's like shopping,
see the sponge ball
channel. It's like QVC shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we know what the fuck
that's how it is when you're dealing with drunk people. Watch. Hey, shut up. Watch. So I was performing bar magic last night, and one of my friends was in it, and he said his girlfriend was watching my magic video on his Facebook because I tagged him in it. And he said, she said she started watching it, but she didn't finish it. I was like, dude, it was 56 seconds long.
Exactly.
56 seconds. Like, how do you didn't even get to where the final razzle dazzle of the trick was? It's like, what?
Yeah. So it's exactly that where, and it's not you. That's like that. That's not you. It's I'm when I say exactly, I'm talking about the attention span of people. It's almost like, okay, show me and get it over with. It's, I don't know. There's something you got to be able to work banter and keeping people's attention.
That's where the charisma comes into it, because if there was, say we had Charles Manson on this podcast, if he were still alive, people would watch every single fucking second of that video,
Yeah.
But, if it's just, us hanging out, people, their attention span might waver or whatever. But
yeah,
it's kind of a, an eye-opening thing, about how important charisma is for the actual performance. You might just know the trick, it might be great, but the way that you engage people, makes all the difference.
It has to be well-rounded. Because what happens if, and this happened with me in Pennsylvania, I remember exactly what the thing was. I was doing a routine, and I had it set up. I knew what I was going to do, start to finish, what I was going to say, the pauses in between, I had the whole thing set up. The only thing I wasn't ready for is when people interacted, or when people interacted in a negative way,
Yeah.
or if they slowed me down or they threw me off track and said, oh crap, now what do I do? This isn't part of my thing. So it's about being not just a well-rounded performer, but there's it's not a fine line. It's a very, very thick, bold, italicized, you can't italicize a line, by the way, italicized line between business and performing, because a lot of people think, oh, you're a performer, you'll do this for dirt cheap. No, business is business. Performing is performing.
So I recently signed up for a comedy club. I'm going to start doing stand-up comedy. So I'm paying for comedy classes for 8 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be doing the graduation, here in 8 weeks. I'm going to start posting comedy shit, videos and whatever. But I was hanging out with some of the, the seasoned comics there last night, and, they found out that I do magic. And they said that, man, we went to a comedy show. It was a bunch of, military veterans, not a comedy show. They went to David Copperfield magic show. And they said they were right up there in the front of David Copperfield's show. And they were all screaming, show me your dick, show me your dick. And he said that he didn't miss a beat, So like,
he's probably so used to it.
Yeah. So like being able to be on stage like that and how to tune out that, I would bust out laughing,
Yeah, that's exactly. I would start cracking up laughing, because I'm going to make you part of the show. I have stuff that I do specifically for hecklers.
Right.
And if it's something that I need to keep moving because I don't want to lose the audience, but first you got to keep the audience on your side. Win them on your side right away. So if anyone interferes between you and them, they're against those people, right? But if it's something small and simple and they just won't shut up or whatever it is, I'll make them part of the show. If they don't want to be part of the show, I can make them part of the show without them even trying. Like I have a card with a pair of lips on it and it has a zipper going across it, right? And I'll force that on the person. If they don't want it, I'll just walk and I'll start forcing cards on people's table.
Right.
I'm not giving this card to a specific person and handing it to them. I'm just going to say, this is for your table, and then I'll tell me to stop. If he doesn't say anything, I'll just force that card on the table. You guys need to act out your cards. Say, put it on your forehead, do whatever, put it on your lips. So this guy will be holding.
I think you'll like this. I think you'll like what I've got. I've got some playing cards with the word "cunt" written on them. Right? Yeah. And on the back, and I have a trick where I have them. I have the card. They sign it, yeah, and then I say, look, but that's weird because your card's the only blue one in the red pack or whatever. And I said, but you hold on to it in between your hands like this, and the card will change and it'll reveal to reveal a part of your personality. And they'll turn over and they'll say, "Cunt."
Does it always make them laugh, or does it piss people off?
I don't give a fuck, mate. It's the heck of me.
That's great.
No, everybody laughs. Everybody laughs, but you're obviously not going to do it to some old lady. Or,
right.
You know what I mean? You're only going to do it to someone who's like our age or whatever. You know what I mean? Not
right.
You're not doing it to disrespect him. You're just doing it because it's a bit funny. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can do loads of stuff with gags. Like there's a guy called Steve Rowe who does these. I've got it over here. It's a pen. Right, it's a pen. It's a Sharpie. But have you ever seen those breakaway wands?
Breakaway what?
Yeah.
Wands.
Oh yeah. Oh, you
like a wand that you pass somebody and it falls apart type thing.
Yeah. I was thinking about using that for the comedy show.
Well, you can get one of those, but it's a Sharpie, and you pass it to someone. You're like, oh, I'm going to get you to write something down, and you just you're passing it like nonchalantly.
Yeah.
And it just sort of disintegrates in the hand.
I'm going to have to get one of them.
Where the fuck is it? There it is. Right, so you've got your pen, and you pass it to him.
Dude, I'm going to get one of those. That's hilarious.
And then people say something, and they go, "Woo!"
Dude, I want to see one of your shows. One of your wedding shows that you do, or whatever that you've been doing recently. How come you've not been getting any video recently? You've been doing a lot of gigs.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, if you're doing a private show, it's a bit rude to start film and everything.
I mean, couldn't you ask, up front if it's okay if, your wife films it or something?
Well, I suppose so. I mean, have you ever seen the Jennifer Aniston trick?
Oh, whoop.
Imagine Jennifer Aniston walks in.
It took me
My
a
will
second.
to live.
But yeah, man. So we're right at an hour and 14 minutes now. So
This is the
y'all
best
ready to wrap
15
this
pounds
thing
I've
up?
spent.
I'm gonna get one of those. That's awesome.
Yeah, so to plug this thing, and I've got another thing here as well, which is it's falling apart, unfortunately. So I need to get a screw thing. But it's basically like a Sharpie with one of these built into it, all right? And so it pulls out. Right?
Oh,
But when,
okay.
because I do mentalism all the time, it's got this little mirror on the end, of the little mirror sits on the end. Right? So you're pretending that you're using the mirror to look. So everybody else, because when people are writing something down, it's like a dead moment, isn't it? It's like a dead moment, like because you're doing mentalism, like, oh, they're writing something down, and everybody else is like, ooh, but it better not be looking. Well, if you can make a joke out of it and pull this thing out and
Yeah.
you're looking over your shoulder and you pretend to try and look at what they're writing. Like it breaks things up and it keeps the pacing going better.
Yeah.
Because mentalism, like if there's too much process to it or if it takes too long, people just switch off.
Yeah.
Unless you can keep it compelling.
In one of my pictures, I have a projector in the background in some of my Facebook pictures. In case there's too many people in the back, I want to make sure they can see. That I do that exact same thing with the mirror, but not with the mirror. So I'll force a card, not force, just hand them a card. So I take a look at that, make sure I don't get to see it. I turn around, I look right at the projector, and then everyone else in the audience is cracking up because they see me looking at the projector because the camera is behind me, or she'll show everyone in the audience, but at the same time she's showing the camera. I'm looking backwards, but they always get it afterwards. At least
When you do something like that, or the breakaway Sharpie or whatever, it sort of creates a moment of the release of tension where and it sort of makes people a little bit less like it's adversarial, like you're trying to get one over on them because then they realize that you're there to entertain them. It's not just about fooling them over and over again, and it's more about
entertainment more so than just proving.
Because like I said before about being a clever dick, nobody likes a clever dick. It's something you can't really get away with. People just don't like
That's
it.
one of my opening lines too. When I get there is when I introduce myself is I'll do something that'll require a little bit of time. Like I'll produce ice in my hand, and while it's melting, I'm getting this huge puddle of water in my hand, right? But I'm just letting it collect. While it's collecting, I'll ask them, do they know the difference between magic and trick? So magic and tricks. I know we put them together, magic tricks, right? So I'm explaining the difference real quick. And I said, I'm not here to make you feel a certain way. I'm not here to make you feel like an idiot or anything like that, or I'm better than you. I said, we're just here to have fun. We're just here to instill a little bit of wonder. I want you to leave today wondering, how the hell was that done? And you enjoyed it. Not, I hated that guy because he thought he was cocky. And then I release all this water in their hands and this big ass ice cube. So that's my icebreaker, pun intended.
Nice.
Hey,
I guess that's one thing.
Have you ever heard the story about? I'll send you a video actually of Paul Daniels performing as Max Malini, where he's sat at a dinner table and he produces. I won't ruin it for you. He's doing a where he spins a coin and it's heads or tails and puts his hat over it. Brilliant routine.
You say spin a card or a coin?
A coin, so it's heads or tails. Union heads or tails.
I thought you said a card. I'm like, damn, that's impressive. How do you spin a card?
Let's try. No, it spun a bit. It spun a bit. It did spin a little bit.
We're magicians.
No.
I did want to apologize in case I was trying my best to show without giving anything away. So if I gave anything away, I don't think I did.
I mean, it's
but-
okay. It doesn't really matter. I mean, people do it all the time
Yeah.
on YouTube. We're very mild at it, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
gonna be
this
the
is the first time
hypocrite.
we've
Like, I
ever
hate it.
actually.
You know?
I think it's the first time I've ever actually explained out anything about from this
Yeah.
thing. So
Usually we
Yeah.
save that for after, you know, we finish the.
it's someone would have to start watching it for it to actually matter.
But yeah, if
Yeah.
y'all
So
don't
that
mind,
as I was doing the cut, I'm like, oh, should I be showing this cut? I was like, I don't know if I should be showing this cut.
if y'all don't mind, can we go ahead and wrap this up real fast? Chris, man, thank you so much for having us, you know, fuck, I'm tired, guys. I didn't sleep last night, so I'm beat. Thanks so much for being on the show, and thank you everybody for watching.
It's all good. Hold on, I'm trying to find some wrapping paper. I can wrap this up. I got some around here somewhere.
Just my ass is killing me. I've been sitting here all damn day because I didn't sleep last night. Like I'm still trying to recover from damn insomnia. So all I want to do is just stand up right now. That's why I'm wanting to.
All right.
So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Durex.
Awesome sauce. Thanks for having me, guys. I greatly appreciate it.
Hey
been
man,
fun.
so we can find you on your website, chriswalde.com. I think it was, right?
Yep.
You're on Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook. Everybody check him out. Thank you everybody for watching. If you're still on here, if you made it all the way to the end, you're awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you all.
Later.
All right.